Have you ever felt like your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be? You forget names more easily. You lose focus faster. You struggle to read long articles. You start something and abandon it halfway through. You open your phone for one quick task, and 20 minutes later, you don't even remember why you unlocked it. It doesn't happen suddenly. It doesn't feel dramatic. It's subtle, gradual, almost invisible. But day by day, your mind feels weaker. The frightening part is this: it's not just you, and it's not random. Your mind doesn't become weaker by accident. It becomes weaker through habits, through environment, through repetition, through thousands of small decisions that slowly rewire how you think, focus, remember, and reason. Today, we're going to explore why your mind gets weaker every day and what's really happening beneath the surface, not to scare you, but to wake you up. 1. Your brain is always adapting, even when you don't notice. The human brain is designed to adapt. It changes based on what you do repeatedly. Every thought, every behavior, every distraction leaves a trace. If you practice deep focus daily, your ability to concentrate strengthens. If you practice distraction daily, your ability to concentrate weakens. Your brain doesn't judge. It doesn't care whether the habit is helpful or destructive. It simply adapts to what you repeatedly feed it. And that's the first reason your mind may be getting weaker. You are unknowingly training it to be distracted, scattered, and shallow. Every notification trains you to switch attention. Every short-form video trains you to expect stimulation. Every time you avoid a difficult task, you train your brain to escape discomfort. Over time, your brain becomes incredibly good at one thing: avoiding effort. And that is the beginning of mental weakness. 2. The death of deep focus. There was a time when people could sit with a single task for hours, read a book cover to cover, write without interruption, think deeply about one problem. Now, many people struggle to focus for even 10 minutes. Why? Because deep focus is a skill, and like any skill, it weakens without use. Modern life constantly interrupts you. Notifications, messages, emails, social media, news updates, entertainment on demand. Your attention is being pulled in dozens of directions every hour. Each interruption may seem small, but attention switching has a cost. It fragments your thinking, it reduces depth, it prevents immersion. Over time, your brain adapts to this scattered style of thinking. You stop thinking in long chains of reasoning. You start thinking in short bursts. You skim instead of read. You react instead of reflect. Your mind becomes restless, and a restless mind is a weaker mind. 3. You consume more than you create. Another silent cause of mental weakness is imbalance. You consume endlessly, but rarely create. You scroll, you watch, you listen. You read headlines, you absorb opinions, but how often do you write your own thoughts, reflect deeply, build something from scratch, solve a difficult problem without help? Consumption is passive, creation is active. When you create, your brain works hard. It organizes information, it connects ideas, it struggles, it refines, it strengthens. When you consume endlessly, your brain becomes a spectator. Imagine a body that only watches exercise videos but never moves. It would not become stronger. It would deteriorate. Your mind works the same way. If you don't challenge it to produce, not just absorb, it gradually loses strength. 4. You avoid boredom at all costs. Boredom used to be common. Waiting in line, sitting on a bus, walking alone, lying in bed at night. In those quiet moments, the mind would wander, reflect, imagine, process emotions, solve problems unconsciously. Today, boredom is almost extinct. The moment you feel even a hint of it, you reach for your phone.
You eliminate silence instantly. But boredom is not the enemy. It is the gateway to deeper thinking. When your brain is not stimulated externally, it turns inward. It processes unresolved thoughts. It forms creative connections. It builds insight. By constantly escaping boredom, you deny your brain the space it needs to grow. Over time, your tolerance for stillness shrinks. You feel uncomfortable without stimulation, and a mind that cannot sit with itself becomes fragile. 5. You're training instant gratification. Modern systems are built around immediate reward. Instant likes, instant replies, instant entertainment, instant delivery, instant results. Your brain is wired to respond to reward. When something feels good, it releases chemicals that reinforce the behavior. If rewards are immediate and constant, your brain becomes addicted to speed. The problem is that meaningful mental growth requires delayed gratification. Learning a skill takes time. Reading a complex book takes effort. Building knowledge requires patience. Solving real problems demand perseverance. But if your brain has been trained to expect instant pleasure, it will resist slow effort. You'll feel impatient, restless, easily discouraged, and so you quit. Over time, your tolerance for difficulty shrinks, your resilience declines, your mental endurance fades, and without endurance, the mind weakens. 6. Multitasking is quietly destroying depth. You may think multitasking makes you efficient. In reality, it makes you shallow. Your brain cannot truly focus on two demanding tasks at once. It switches rapidly between them. Each switch drains cognitive energy. When you check messages while working, listen to content while reading, scroll during conversations, jump between tabs constantly, you train your brain to operate at a surface level. Deep thought requires sustained attention. Multitasking fragments it. Over time, your baseline ability to focus declines. You may not notice it at first, but gradually you struggle to complete long tasks. You feel mentally exhausted faster. You lose track of ideas mid-thought. It's not aging, it's not lack of intelligence, it's training. You trained your brain to fragment. Now it fragments automatically. 7. You don't sleep enough. Sleep is not laziness, it is neurological maintenance. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories, clears waste, strengthens neural connections, restores cognitive energy. When you sacrifice sleep for scrolling, entertainment, or late-night stimulation, you interrupt this process. Chronic sleep deprivation reduces attention span, emotional regulation, memory, decision-making ability, problem-solving capacity. Even small deficits accumulate. You might think, I can function on 5 hours. Yes, you can function, but not at full capacity. Over time, poor sleep erodes your mental sharpness. It makes your thinking slower, your emotions more reactive, and your focus weaker. And because the decline is gradual, you normalize it. 9. You rarely think for yourself. You live in an age of endless opinions. Whenever a topic arises, you can instantly find commentary, analysis, arguments, explanations, pre-made conclusions. Instead of thinking deeply, many people outsource their thinking. They adopt views without examining them. They repeat phrases without understanding them. They react emotionally without analyzing. Critical thinking is like a muscle. It grows through struggle. When you rely on others to interpret everything for you, your independent reasoning weakens. You become reactive instead of reflective. Over time, your mind loses its sharpness, not because you lack intelligence, but because you stopped exercising it. 10. Emotional overload drains cognitive power. Your brain has limited energy. Every strong emotion, anger, fear, outrage, anxiety, consumes mental resources. Modern media often amplifies emotional intensity. Headlines are dramatic, stories are extreme, content is designed to provoke reaction. When you expose yourself to constant emotional stimulation, your nervous system stays activated. Chronic stress impairs memory, focus, logical reasoning, long-term planning. It pushes your brain into survival mode. In survival mode, you react, you don't reflect. You defend, you don't analyze. Over time, chronic emotional overload reduces cognitive clarity. A mind under constant stress cannot perform at its peak.
10. You fear mental discomfort. Thinking deeply is uncomfortable. Learning something new is uncomfortable. Admitting ignorance is uncomfortable. Challenging your own beliefs is uncomfortable. Solving complex problems is uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth happens. If you constantly avoid mental strain, choosing easy content, easy tasks, easy answers, your mind adapts to low effort. It becomes intolerant of challenge. Just like muscles atrophy without resistance, your thinking ability declines without intellectual strain. The paradox is simple. The more you avoid mental effort, the harder it becomes. And the harder it becomes, the more you avoid it. That cycle slowly weakens your mind. 11. Information overload without integration. You consume more information in a single day than people in the past consumed in weeks. But information alone does not strengthen the mind. Integration does. If you don't reflect on what you learn, connect ideas, apply knowledge, teach others, the information remains shallow. It passes through your awareness without becoming wisdom. Your brain becomes crowded but not organized. Over time, this creates confusion instead of clarity. You feel informed but not deeply knowledgeable. And scattered knowledge without structure leads to mental fatigue. 12. Constant comparison reduces confidence. Social platforms show curated highlights of other people's lives, achievements, success, beauty, productivity, happiness. When you compare constantly, you may feel inadequate. Low confidence affects cognitive performance. If you doubt yourself, you hesitate. If you hesitate, you avoid challenges. If you avoid challenges, your skills stagnate. Mental strength requires belief in your capacity to improve. Without that belief, you stop pushing yourself. And when growth stops, decline begins. 13. You rarely practice long-term thinking. Short-term thinking dominates modern life. Quick wins, immediate reactions, daily metrics, fast cycles. But long-term thinking requires patience, projection, strategic reasoning, delayed reward. If you rarely plan beyond the next week, your capacity for strategic thought weakens. You become reactive rather than proactive. You solve immediate problems but ignore deeper patterns. A mind that only operates in the present moment without reflection on the past or projection into the future becomes limited. Depth requires time perspective. 14. Physical inactivity affects mental strength. Your brain does not operate separately from your body. Movement increases blood flow to the brain. It supports memory and mood regulation. It enhances clarity. A sedentary lifestyle reduces cognitive vitality. When the body becomes sluggish, the mind often follows. Exercise is not just for muscles, it supports neural health. Without movement, mental energy declines. 15. You accept mental decline as normal. Perhaps the most dangerous reason your mind gets weaker every day is this: you believe it's inevitable. You assume distraction is normal. You assume low focus is universal. You assume constant fatigue is unavoidable. And so you stop questioning it. But decline is not destiny. Your brain remains adaptable throughout life. It can strengthen, it can rebuild,
It can sharpen again, but only if you intentionally train it. The turning point. If your mind feels weaker, it is not because you are broken. It is because you have been training it unintentionally. The same principle that caused the decline can reverse it. Small, repeated actions reshape the brain. So what strengthens the mind? Deep work without interruption, reading challenging material, writing and thinking independently, limiting digital noise, embracing boredom, practicing delayed gratification, prioritizing sleep, engaging in physical movement, reflecting regularly, seeking discomfort intentionally. Mental strength is built through resistance, not comfort. A simple reality. Every day, you are either strengthening your mind or weakening it. There is no neutral. Scrolling mindlessly, weakening. Deep reading, strengthening. Avoiding challenges, weakening. Solving difficult problems, strengthening. Constant distraction, weakening. Focused immersion, strengthening. The difference is subtle in the moment, but enormous over years. The invisible cost of a weak mind. When your mind weakens, the cost is not just productivity. It affects decision quality, emotional control, confidence, creativity, relationships, career growth, personal fulfillment. A weak mind struggles to resist impulses, think critically, stay consistent, see long-term consequences. And without mental clarity, life becomes reactive. You drift instead of direct. Rebuilding mental strength. The solution is not extreme, it is consistent. Start small. Spend 30 minutes daily in uninterrupted focus. Read books that challenge you. Write down your thoughts instead of just consuming others. Sit in silence without stimulation. Reduce unnecessary digital input. Sleep properly. Exercise regularly. Choose one hard thing and stick with it. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. That resistance is proof of weakness, and pushing through it is how strength returns. The truth. Your mind is not getting weaker because you are aging too fast. It is getting weaker because modern systems reward distraction, speed, and passivity. But you are not powerless. You can design your environment. You can control your habits. You can train your attention. You can rebuild depth. Mental strength is not reserved for geniuses. It is built by discipline. Every focused minute is a vote for clarity. Every intentional action is a vote for strength. Every resisted distraction is a vote for power. Your brain is always adapting. The question is, what are you training it to become? A scattered reactor or a sharp thinker? The choice is daily. The impact is cumulative. The direction is yours. Your mind is either slowly fading or slowly sharpening, and it all depends on what you do next.